Somebody shout, "He knows when." We walk through life clutching calendars and watches, worried about how long, anxious about how far, stressed about when it's going to happen. But let me remind you, God is not bound by your clock. He is not pressured by your schedule. God knows when. You may be standing at the edge of a promise, wondering, Lord, when are you going to move? But baby, let me tell you, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Delay does not mean denial. It just means God is still working behind the scenes.
He's orchestrating, aligning, arranging. God knows when. Some of you are like Lazarus in the tomb. People have given up on you. They've wrapped you in burial clothes. They've sealed your situation with a stone.
But the Lord didn't come when they called him because he wasn't trying to do a healing. He came to do a resurrection. You wanted a quick fix, but he was planning a greater glory. You asked for a breakthrough, but he scheduled a resurrection. Just because the answer hasn't arrived doesn't mean the answer was never sent. God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. If he said it, he will do it. But he will do it in his time. Delay is often the classroom where God teaches us trust. It's the holding place where he develops our character. It's not the punishment. It's the preparation. See, anybody can praise when things are going well. Anybody can testify when the breakthrough comes quick. But can you trust him in the middle? Can you worship while you wait? Can you remain faithful when everything in you wants to quit? Because that's where God separates the wheat from the chaff. That's where he proves the strength of your spirit, the depth of your commitment. Delay does something powerful. It exposes whether you want his hand or his heart. Are you just in this for the blessing, or are you committed to the blesser? The delay isn't wasted time. It's working time. God uses the delay to shape you, to prune things that can't go into your next season, to remove attitudes, fears, insecurities, and ego that would sabotage your destiny if he gave it to you too soon. Sometimes God delays the promise because he's still developing the person. You've got a calling, but your character hasn't caught up yet. You've got gifts, but not yet the wisdom to wield them. And God loves you too much to let your calling crush you. So he delays the promotion, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Joseph had a dream that he would be a ruler. But after the dream, he was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and falsely imprisoned. For 13 years, the dream looked like a lie. But God wasn't denying Joseph. He was developing him. That prison was not a place of denial. It was a place of divine setup. Because when God finally elevated Joseph, he didn't just have a dream. He had the integrity, discernment, and humility to lead a nation. If God had brought him out too soon, Joseph would have had the position without the preparation. Don't misinterpret divine silence as divine absence. Just because you don't see him moving doesn't mean he's not working. God does his best work in hidden places. Seeds grow in the dark. Babies are formed in the womb. Diamonds are shaped in pressure. Delay is God's way of protecting the timing of your destiny. He's not rushing it because he's too wise to be early and too perfect to be late. When you're in delay, don't lose hope. Stand on his promises. Go back to what he told you. Rehearse the vision. Water the seed. Stay in position. The enemy wants you to abort the mission in the delay, but God is saying, hold on, I'm not denying you. I'm preparing you. God's timing protects your destiny. What feels like a setback is often a setup. What seems like missed opportunity is divine orchestration. When God delays something, it's not because he can't make it happen instantly. It's because he sees the full picture while we only see a piece. He knows what you're walking into before you get there. He knows the traps, the schemes, the premature exposure that could derail your purpose. So in his wisdom, he slows things down to shield you from what you can't see. You might be praying for elevation, but God is preserving your foundation. Because if he gives it to you too soon, it might elevate your gift but destroy your soul. Sometimes we're in a hurry to arrive while God is taking his time to prepare the road ahead. He sees the opposition waiting. He sees the sabotage being plotted, and he delays your movement, not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. His timing is not just about what he's doing for you. It's about what he's doing in you and around you. If you move too fast, you'd walk into blessings with blind spots. You'd walk into relationships unguarded. You'd walk into ministry unequipped. So he withholds, not out of cruelty, but out of care. God is not just managing your moments. He's managing your destiny. He knows what will bless you and what will break you. And in his divine strategy, timing is everything. A good thing given at the wrong time becomes a heavy burden. Some of us have cried over doors that didn't open, only to thank God later that they stayed shut. Because had you walked through them when you wanted, they would have led you to collapse, not calling. God's timing is a shield around your future. His delays are divine detours that keep you on course. We often confuse what's available with what's appropriate. Just because something is within reach doesn't mean it's in season. God will allow you to glimpse the promise without granting immediate access. Not to tease you, but to test your trust. He's saying, do you want it bad enough to wait for me to give it to you the right way? Because he's not in the business of creating moments. He's in the business of building legacies. You don't need a quick win. You need a sustained victory. And that only comes when God orders the steps and arranges the seasons. Timing is not just about opportunity. It's about alignment. Everything God does is in alignment with His will, His plan, and His purpose. He's aligning people, resources, conversations, and circumstances behind the scenes so that when it happens, it won't be forced. It'll flow. You won't have to manipulate it. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to compromise your values to get it. It will come to you in a way that brings peace, not pressure. That's why you can't panic in the pause. You can't fold in the waiting room of destiny. Because God is not stalling, He's securing. He's protecting the treasure within you by timing the release around you. His timing is a fortress. It shields you from wrong partnerships, wrong opportunities, and wrong environments. It guards your heart from unnecessary pain and positions you to walk into what's yours fully ready, fully equipped, and fully aware of who you are and who He is. Hidden seasons are preparation seasons. These are the moments when it feels like no one sees you, no one calls your name, no one applauds your effort. You're doing the right things, you're showing up, you're being faithful, but it's quiet. There's no spotlight, no recognition, no platform. And if you're not careful, you'll let the silence convince you that God has forgotten you. But in reality, the hidden place is where God does His deepest work. Before He brings you before people, He perfects you in private. Before He shows you off, He builds you up. He builds you up. The hidden season isn't punishment, it's preparation. Moses spent 40 years on the backside of the desert before he ever stood before Pharaoh. David was anointed in private before he ever sat on a throne. Joseph was developed in a prison before he ruled in a palace. Jesus spent 30 years in obscurity before He launched 3 years of ministry. Don't despise your hidden season. That's where roots grow deep. That's where ego is stripped. That's where your motives are purified. God hides you to work on you not because you're not called, but because you are. And the greater the call, the deeper the preparation. In the hidden season, God teaches you to obey without applause. He trains you to serve without needing a stage. He matures your discernment. He tests your heart. Can you be trusted with influence before anyone knows your name? Can you stay consistent when there's no crowd watching? These are the questions that are answered in the dark. Public power comes from private discipline. Anointing is cultivated in secret. If you skip the preparation, you'll crumble under pressure. God hides you because He's building something sacred. He's not just preparing you for the promise. He's preparing you to last in the promise. The hidden place is also where God detoxes your soul. He removes the residue of insecurity, rejection, comparison, and pride. He silences the noise of outside opinions and fine-tunes your ear to His voice. In that place, you learn not just what to do, but who you are. You learn that your identity isn't in what you produce, but in who you belong to. You're not validated by visibility. You're validated by intimacy with Him. God wants you to know His voice before you ever hear the praise of people. Because when you come out of the hidden season, the noise will increase, but you'll be anchored. There are certain lessons you can only learn when nobody's watching. There's a depth of character that only forms when the lights are off. The hidden season is not a waste. It's an investment. God is planting something in you that needs time to take root. You may not see the fruit yet, but the foundation is being laid. And when the time comes, when God brings you into the open, you won't be shaken. You won't be shallow. You'll be rooted, steady, and ready. Hidden forgot doesn't mean 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 forgotten. Hidden means God is still working. Hidden means He's not finished shaping you yet. Hidden means greatness is still under construction. Your moment is already scheduled. Before you were born, before you took your first breath, before you ever cried out to God for purpose, your moment was marked on heaven's calendar. God doesn't operate in random. He doesn't improvise your future. He speaks the end from the beginning. What you're walking toward has already been spoken over you. You may not see it yet, but it's set. It's appointed. It's locked in by divine authority. You're not trying to find your moment. It's already been reserved for you. You're not begging for a seat at the table. Your name has already been written on it. God is not reacting to your life. He's orchestrating it. Every twist, every turn, every delay, every detour is being used to guide you to the place He prepared. That moment where preparation collides with opportunity, where the unseen becomes seen, where the hidden becomes revealed. It's already scheduled. You don't have to strive for it. You just have to survive until it comes. If you can endure the pressure, if you can stay the course, if you can remain faithful in the waiting, you will step into what's already yours. When God schedules a moment, nothing can cancel it. Not your mistakes, not your past, not the opinions of others. What He has spoken cannot be undone. His word does not return void. It accomplishes what He sent it to do. You might feel like time is running out, but heaven does not panic over time. God knows exactly when to release it. He knows the people who need to be in place. He knows the level of maturity you need to carry the weight of. He knows the perfect intersection between your development and your destiny. And when that moment comes, it won't be delayed. You don't need to manipulate it. You don't have to hustle for it. You don't need to push doors open that God hasn't unlocked. All you need to do is stay in position. Stay faithful, stay yielded, because when the moment hits, it will happen suddenly, and everything you went through will make sense. All the closed doors, all the lonely nights, all the silent seasons, they were not wasting your time, they were preparing your spirit. And in a single moment, God can accelerate you beyond every year you thought was lost. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The promise wasn't a maybe, it was a yes. The prophecy wasn't a guess, it was a decree. You're not chasing possibility, you're walking toward fulfillment. And the enemy can't stop what God has already set in motion. He can try to distract you. He can try to discourage you, but he cannot unschedule what heaven has ordained. Your moment has a spiritual time stamp. When the fullness of time comes, nothing will be able to stop it. Not fear, not failure, not even you. So don't compare your timing to others. Don't be frustrated when someone else steps into their moment before you. Their appointment doesn't cancel yours. Their success is not your delay. What God has for you is custom-made, tailor-fit, and eternally timed. You don't need to rush. You don't need to panic, because what's yours won't miss you. Your moment is already scheduled, and when it arrives, it will be undeniable. God moves in moments, not minutes. We live by clocks, 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 live by clocks and calendars. We count the hours, the days, the years, but God isn't limited by human time. He doesn't need a full season to do what he can accomplish in a single moment. One moment in his presence can do what a lifetime of striving never could. He doesn't move by your countdown. He doesn't move by your And when that moment arrives, when heaven and earth align, what was hard becomes easy, what was delayed becomes delivered, what's bound becomes broken, and the natural time moves predictably, minute by minute, second by second. But in the supernatural, God waits for the right moment. That's why you can pray for years and then suddenly everything shifts. That's why you can labor in obscurity, then overnight you're thrust into purpose. It's not magic. It's momentum built in silence, released in a moment. The lame man sat by the pool for years, but the moment Jesus passed by, everything changed. The woman with the issue of blood suffered for 12 long years, but the moment she touched the hem of his garment, healing flowed. God is not slow, he is precise. His movements are strategic. While you're watching the clock, God is watching the heart. He waits until everything is in place, until your mind is renewed, your faith is anchored, your character is tested, your pride is broken. Then, in a moment, he releases the shift, not because the time ran out, but because the time was right. He's not concerned with how long it's taken, he's focused on what it's producing in you. We think in terms of minutes because we want control. But God waits for moments because he wants transformation. A moment from God is enough to change your entire life. You can go from overlooked to ordained, from hurting to healed, from last to first in a moment. But the moment doesn't come to the unprepared. It visits those who endured, who stayed faithful when it didn't make sense, who kept sowing when the ground looked dry, who kept praising even when the heavens were silent. That moment is not just an event, it's a reward. A divine intersection where grace meets faith and heaven invades your situation. That's why you can't give up just because you don't see change minute by minute. God is not moved by your impatience. He is moved by your trust. You could be one moment away from everything shifting, one prayer away, one decision away, one act of obedience away. The enemy wants you to quit in the final minutes, but God is saying, hold on, I'm not counting minutes, I'm preparing a moment, and when it comes, it won't be small, it'll be undeniable. A door that no man can shut, a miracle that no devil can block. A breakthrough that no timeline could predict. So stay in position, stay planted, keep watching, because the God you serve doesn't move by schedule. He moves by sovereignty. And when he moves in power. He moves in fullness. He moves in divine, appointed, earth-shaking moments. No force can stop a God-ordained timing. When God speaks a thing, when he declares a season, when he sets an appointed time, there is no power in hell, no system on earth, no voice of man that can cancel what he has already decreed. The enemy may try to delay it, distract you from it, discourage you on the way to it, but he cannot deny it. Because what God has set in motion, no demon can reverse. When God says a now, it doesn't matter who says a not yet. When he opens a door, it doesn't matter how many people tried to shut it. His timing is sovereign, and his authority is final. The enemy doesn't have the power to override God's agenda. All he can do is attempt to wear you out in the waiting. He'll stir up confusion. He'll use people to speak against you. He'll magnify the obstacles. But it's all smoke and mirrors. He wants you to believe that because it's taking time, it's no longer possible. But the devil is a liar. God's timing is not based on visible circumstances. It's based on eternal decision. He declared the end from the beginning, and nothing created can stop the Creator from finishing what he started. God's timing doesn't require permission from man. He doesn't need the approval of your boss, the support of a crowd, or the favor of the culture. When the time comes, God will break protocol to perform his purpose. He'll bypass the line. He'll override systems. He'll elevate you in environments that weren't designed to accept you. You won't need connections. You'll just need obedience. Because when it's time, God will cause things to shift in your favor without your striving. He will anoint what others rejected. He will highlight what others overlooked. And no force will be able to stop it. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It doesn't matter how impossible it looks. God is not intimidated by delay, and he's not moved by difficulty. The Red Sea didn't stop him. The lion's den didn't scare him. The tomb didn't hold him. If he scheduled it, he will see it through. The winds and the waves obey him. Time bows at his feet. The laws of nature are subject to his will. So when God says it's time, all of creation responds. Obstacles collapse, walls fall, chains break, doors fly open, because no force can withstand divine timing. And sometimes the greatest resistance comes right before the release. That's when the enemy throws everything at you. Fear, fatigue, failure, because he senses that something is about to break. But don't back down. Don't lose your footing. That pressure is a sign that the appointed time is near. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. You're not being crushed, you're being crowned. What God has prepared is already finished in the spirit. Now it's just waiting for the divine time to manifest in the natural. So keep standing, keep believing, keep declaring, because when God's timing hits, nothing will be able to stop the flow. What took years of waiting will turn in a day. What looked lost will be restored. What was dead will rise again. Because the timing of God is unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. And when he says it's time, it will happen just as he said.